Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. I am Kristen, and today I'm doing a session in my Discovery of Divinity series, which I don't know how many there's going to be. That this could be the last one, or I could do a few more. I don't know. But a few months ago, or maybe it was a month ago, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I was wondering the process that someone who is a materialist or someone who doesn't believe in anything spiritual goes to believing in something spiritual. And so I decided to go online and ask some people because I'm one of those people. But I can't remember. I have a very bad time recall, and so it's really hard for me to say when what happened. And so I thought I would go online and like ask other people what their experiences are. Now, this is colored a bit because most of the people that I spoke to are Norse pagans, because that's just where I went to ask, and those are the people who responded and whatnot. So that probably does color it a bit. But I mean, this isn't some, anthropological study. It was just my going on and asking some questions and coming up with some opinions on it. But I just wanted to find out that process. Well, like if there was a pattern there, and there was. There was a general pattern that existed between all the stories that were given to me. And I'd say that the first seed for a materialist that becomes someone who's not a materialist is a longing. Now, here I'm defining materialist as someone who does not believe in anything that they can't sense with their own senses, that isn't observable, that can't be, affirmed by scientific study. And if it can't be affirmed through those kind of studies, then it just doesn't exist. And some of them would say that it's kind of ridiculous to think that such things exist. And then there's fundamentalist materialists who actually do end up having experiences that contradict their materialism, but because they are so fused and tightly gripping that kind of belief, they still deny, even if that is actually kind of paradoxical. They're denying the observations, because they believe in a philosophy that says you can only believe in what you observe. So, and that was kind of how I was. I was like that for years. And I would just deny. I would deny other people's experiences, and I was like, "You're just full of it." And I mean, I wouldn't say that to their face. I would just think it. Um, but it wasn't until I actually started having experiences, probably about a year ago, that I really was able to take that leap into belief. Like I've been wanting to believe in something greater than myself for years and years and years. Like I've always had an interest in spirituality. I got my master's in theology. I wanted to be a nun when I was a kid. And I just loved studying religion and spirituality, but I couldn't believe myself. And so I wanted to speak to other people who had that similar experience. And so it's that longing. It's that longing that's the first seed that I see. So there's a desire, their heart is desiring something beyond themselves. So they're asking a question that they don't know they're asking, and they want an answer, but they don't know what that answer is. And so that seems to be sort of like a vague sort of description of what they were explaining to me. And so a lot of times they would end up having an experience. Not all, no, not a lot of times. They all ended up having an experience, and that experience could have been evidence that they, could affirm through their own, reasoning because of their, beliefs in materialism, their belief in observation. They experienced something that they observed, and so that changed their beliefs. For other people, they actually had an experience, but it was a ritual experience. They actually would put on belief, enter sacred space, act as if they did believe, start having spiritually uplifting experiences, and then they came to believe. So that's an interesting take. I mean, I think that's more commonly found among what are called Reconstructionist pagans. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google it. I don't need to go into it here, but this is just a certain type of paganism. And that kind of evidence, evidence or experience led to like a slow evolution or a fast one. Like some people, it was just like that. And but for most of them, it was like sort of this slow process. Some of them did this hokey pokey where they put their foot in, their foot out, their foot in. Some of them would turn right around and out the door and then come back, that kind of thing. So, those are all different experiences because we all have different journeys. So, but they would enter this space where suddenly they experience this spiritually relational life. So, not only are they having these experiences that affirm rationally or affirm, emotionally, it changes them. It sort of changes how they relate to the world, how they relate to themselves, and how they relate to reality. And so they sort of enter this story. There's a meta narrative that's sort of blanketing their world now. There's a story being told, and now they are part of it. Now they are a character in that story. It's this cosmic story being told by something greater than themselves. And they get to be a part of that. And I think that's part of what is so nourishing about the whole process as well. And so they have this longing. They start asking questions. They have the experience, and that evolution leads them to an affirmation. Some of them will take an existential leap into belief. They're like, "This feeds me. This is right. This is where I need to be. This has changed my life. This is where my I need my life to be." And they take that existential leap into that affirmation, into belief, and some people might call it faith. And so that journey, that whole journey that people take, it ends up, it nourishes the heart, and that heart that did the desire, that had the desire and the longing in the beginning, that story, that journey has nourished that heart, that desiring heart. And I'm not saying that the desire and longing and doubt suddenly disappears, because belief and doubt are not the opposite thing. Like, but you can have belief without having definite, you know, so you can have doubt. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. You have doubt and belief at the same time. So I think a lot of people who have problems with really, stepping into that belief system and that sort of cosmic story are people who think that you have to have 100% proof. Here in this Peachtree dish is, the proof that Thor exists. It's not going to happen, but you can have belief, and doubt at the same time because it's so transformative. You have evidence. And so you can say this is evidence enough. So you lower the bar. You're saying, okay, I don't need to have Thor in a Petri dish, but I can have, a call to Thor to, show me that he exists, and then have thunder and lightning suddenly happen within seconds. And so I think that's all I have to say today. Like this is my second time videoing it. The first one was very rambly. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. But yeah, I like to go into specifics about some specific experiences. Like some people had that experience. They're like, which I never have. Like I've never had experience like this where they're like, you know what, I need proof. Can you please just show me proof that you exist, Thor? And then the skies opened up and thunder and lightning and which is pretty phenomenal. I've never had an experience like that. And one person was having a severe, severe migraine. She couldn't stand up. And so she had this experience where she saw, I think it was Freya, appear before her. and poof, headache gone. So those experiences, which are pretty phenomenal, those are pretty phenomenal. Like I don't have those kind of experiences. My big experience was like a sort of a dot of psychic ability that happened about a year ago, and it was about 6 days where I predicted all my card pulls and all my rune pulls, which was pretty phenomenal. And then I have had like lots of synchronicities, and I'm still working on the belief in the gods. I'm already I'm entering already, that relational life with them. Um, but I'm still just not there yet. Like some of the people are, where they, enter that belief in the gods, and then they're fine. They don't do any hokey pokeys. And I'm kind of a hokey pokey kind of girl. So I thought I'd draw a card in relation to this. I did draw a card the last time, so maybe I'll just use that one. I mean, I did pull it for the video. So I got six pentacles. And how I read this is that these are your two selves. So there's the self that has the longing, the hunger. And then there's the other you that gives you permission to feed that hunger. It's you're feeding yourself in order to be nourished, and giving yourself permission to take those coins. So that's how I would read this card in relation to this video. And I hope you enjoyed this. And you have a good day. Bye.